Hello, I'm Harold Mangum again with Memory Technologies, back again today to kind of touch on some of the things that we've come up with in the last few years. We've had a lot of questions in some of our workshops. A lot of our instructors, the parents of the students that come to the workshops, and they'll say, you know, is there something that you have that we can help give, you know, our kids some way to have a little bit of an advancement in life in terms of a way to improve their grades, a way to improve their social skills. You know, there was a book that came out called Emotional Intelligence, and it's something that touched on not just the IQ of the intelligence level of a child or a student, but it's the emotional aspect of it, to make them more well-rounded. Well, now they have the same guy that wrote it, Daniel Goleman. He actually came out with a book called Social Intelligence. And it's kind of the interaction between that same person and the other person. So it's not just a kind of introspective type of book, but more of how to deal within your nucleus of social environment, you know, in terms of your peers or your family relationships or, you know, friends or within your work environment, that kind of thing. Well, years ago we put together something called a successful student system for students to make them a little bit more conscious, a little bit more aware of how their learning processes work and how to have them achieve a little bit higher grade in their scholastic endeavors. You know, I traveled around quite a bit. I've worked with a lot of students, and a lot of the kids that I have that I've met and have talked to that have had questions about their styles of learning, I have certain types of things that it helps me kind of recall some of those situations. Some of them are kind of sad, but some of them, a lot of them are very advanced. A lot of them, you know, have the potential, but they just don't have the tools to do it. We came out with a program, like I said, the Successful Student System, and it's actually a system which is a CD audio system with a workbook, and actually it takes you through all of the process of the memory workshop, how to start that base core development of how to formulate memories in your mind, how to make your mind work more efficient, how to have it efficient in terms of storage location, how to store the information, how to retrieve it, and recall it at your own mental fingertips. Well, this system was designed, the Successful Student System was designed for the student. The student that has a little bit of trouble, you know, trying to balance all of the extracurricular activities as well as the school activities as well as the activities they have at home. This system it's a two-part Successful Student System. It has a workbook that's designed for the student to follow along with, as well as the audio CDs. Now, the important thing about this workbook and this CD system is it gives the student a chance to have more self-esteem, more self-confidence. How to, you know, take away the test anxiety. Because you know what happens, the kid, I can remember when I was in school, I'd get in to take the test and I didn't have a proper way of studying before, so the night before I crammed the whole night. I knew all the answers. You know, someone could ask me before the test, I could give them the answer. But then I'd get the test and I'd go brain dead. And the reason is, through rote memorization, it formulates that stress factor. And when that cortisol is produced in your brain, it shuts you down. Well, I crammed all night long. I knew all the information, but as soon as I got to the first question, I knew the answer, but you know what? I couldn't retrieve the information in the order and the timely manner that I needed to. And I'd use up half my time, if not more, trying to answer that first question. Instead of utilizing the system that we have between our ears, the computer, to say, okay, I know this answer real well, so I'm going to answer this one, and I know this answer real well, so I'm going to answer this one, and I know this one, and I'd go in and out and do the ones that I knew right off the bat and take those questions and answer those questions because it was right there in my ready access. And then after I would take some of that information and stress off of my mind, it would go back to the problems and the test questions that I didn't know as well. It would free up that space. It would free up that information level so that I could pull that question and answer it properly. So see, it's all a matter of how you train your brain in terms of learning styles, learning mechanisms, all of those things. Now, the beautiful thing about this Successful Student System is it's a self-paced process. You can listen to the CDs, you can go work in your workbook, and it covers things like power note-taking, how to have a daily action planner, how to balance your goal planning for the school year, how to balance your, you know, the sports activities you have going on, how to make sure the things that are at home are still being taken care of as well as they need to. But it gives the student a little bit more self-confidence, a little bit more self-esteem. But one of the things about the CDs that I like more than anything else, it gives you a system for tracking projects. You know, I used to get a term paper or a project I had to finish at a certain deadline, and I'd put it off to the very last minute, and boy, the weekend before it was due, I crammed, I had to put together, and I just didn't do my very best. But this gives you a process of how to track that project, how to plan and do the necessary steps to do that day, and take that action step on that particular day so that it all doesn't pile up at the very end and you have to cram that weekend before to get your project done. That's one of the beautiful things about this system. And of course the daily action planner helps me to go through and plan for that day, and that's what the student can do. The daily action plan says, okay, I've got a project coming on, I'm going to do this part of this project today. Oh, and I've got another thing over in history I need to do, a little term paper, so I'm going to work on that. Oh, and I have a test coming up today, you know, on tomorrow on a pop quiz that I'm going to have, so I need to kind of, you know, go back over and brief myself on those things. But this system gives you a chance to where the student can be in control of his own destiny. You know, if I'd had this system when I was in school, I could have been, you know, a valedictorian. You know, I always say that, you know, if I had had this system, I could have been a brain surgeon, except I fainted sight of my blood, so I probably couldn't do that. But you know what? I could remember the 12 cranial nerves much easier by using this system. So when I was in school, if I had this, oh, I could have been so much more efficient, so much more effective, and less stressed out all the time. You see, what happens is when you stress out, it's not a good stress. When you have to stress out over a test or a project term paper or, you know, or a project you have to do, that's not good stress. It kind of takes your body and tears it apart. And what you want to do is take those stresses off of yourself. And through mindful-based stress reduction of learning the system, that's what the student does. It gives you as a parent a chance to help them. It gives them as a student a chance to know where to ask for the help, and also a chance to know how to formulate their activities as it goes along in that semester or school year. Another thing, it takes how to take historical dates and load that information and tie that specific term of that specific historical date, what happened that day, and kind of what we talked about, you know, in the workshop, the episodic memory, where it's all of the generalities, but not just the generalities, but all of the detail. Where semantic memory is just the generalities of something, the episodic memory is all of the information, all of the detail. So when you can lock in an historical date, what happened on that date, and all of the important things that brought that about, it's important because you know what? Sometimes you don't have a multiple choice question or multiple choice test. Sometimes it's all, you know, essay. So you want to be able to recall the information. But you know, my youngest daughter just graduated from North Texas. She's going to be a teacher. She's got a job. Actually, she just got married here on the 4th of July, so we're really excited about that. Both of my girls are married now and are going to be successful in life. I feel that they've been given the tools. And one of the things that helped them, I think, was I took them to this workshop. My oldest daughter, when she was 8 years old, I took her. She graduated from SMU a year early, had a job a year early, and she's a successful magazine executive now. In fact, she's thinking about opening up her own magazine and maybe launching it this fall. So I'm excited about that. But you know what? That 1 year that she took a 5-year program into a 4-year program at SMU saved me a lot of money. And I guess it's kind of a selfish thing, but you know what? It gave her the tools to give her the self-confidence. Take away the test anxiety, let them be a little bit more receptive on learning and a little bit more fun making in terms of how to learn. You know, because we used to learn things through selective remembering, selective forgetting. The things we like, remember real well. The things we didn't like, we don't remember as well. This system makes you remember the things you don't like as easily as the things you do like, because you make a game out of it. So that's the beauty of the system. And the workbook is set up to where it has the 21-day follow-through system for the same workshop that you would attend or that your children may have attended, but it gives them a way to review that information. And it gives them the step-by-step daily action planner. It also goes through and it shows them how to do their goal planning, how to take power note-taking so that you don't take up all your time trying to get the key point and miss all the content. That's the way I used to be. I was a copious note-taker. I'd go into a workshop or go into a seminar and I'd try to get all the key points and miss half the content. But you know, once I went to this workshop, every workshop or seminar I ever attended after that, it was a breeze. You know why? Because I didn't have to take notes. I was loading the information using my files, like my body files that you've learned in the previous versions of this little capture, or maybe the room files, or maybe my house files, or my alphabet files. But you know what? I had a place to store the information. That's what this system does for a student. It gives them all of the business tools that you learn after you get out and start the real world excitement of learning, you know, new things in your job, and then how to be a better employee, how to be a better, you know, project director, how to be a better director. But you know what? This gives the student the same process, but at a much earlier age. You see, if I had these skills and could use this when I was younger, I could have been anything I wanted to be. And I do pretty good. I enjoy what I do. But you know what? This would give me a chance to broaden my base quite a bit. Now, another thing it shows you how to do your goal planning, of course, how to take and maximize your time and get the best results of your grades. The daily action planning sheet, it also has a sample project organizer on how to organize your projects, how to have a place to have the completion date, how to show what has to be finished by which day, the drop dead date, the deadline date. All those things are given to you. The same kind of things we learn in business for the Gantt charts and the PERT charts and all those. That's what this does. That's a good thing about it. Also, it teaches you how to load a 365-day calendar. So let's say that you said, oh, I'd like to meet with you on July the 18th. And you say, well, I would too. But that's a Sunday. They could give you the day and you could tell them what day it falls on. So see, you can allocate your upcoming week or your upcoming month, because now you have a way to load the 365-day calendar by using this system. So again, what this is the whole workshop on 6 CDs. As well, you get 2 more CDs on the Student Successful system, where it takes you beyond just the basic workshop. So this is a good system we put together for students. But we've got other systems. We've had requests throughout the years on how to do certain things. We've gone through and built programs for that. But more importantly, what it does, it gives your student a chance to achieve much better, much faster, be more and have more in life. As I was saying, my oldest daughter did well. My youngest daughter, as I mentioned to say earlier, she just graduated. She got a job. She's going to be a teacher. She took a 5-year program at North Texas to 4 years. And you know what? That part between that and SMU saved me $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 over the time for both of those years we saved. But it gave them the tools to make them more effective when they get into their job. Now, my youngest sister was talking about that I just married, and we're excited now because now we have 2 son-in-laws and all of us can do things together. But more importantly, my youngest daughter, the last 2 semesters at North Texas, she actually made a 4.0, making the president list. And the last semester she had a 21-hour course load, and the semester before that she had an 18-hour course load. But you know what? It took her study time down from 4 or 5 hours down to 20, 30, 40 minutes just to load her files, because she had a system. And when she got in, it was like taking a cheat sheet into the test-taking location. Not that I've ever done that, but I've heard people doing that, sliding it between the pages. I never did that. But you know what? It took the information in her mind and she put it on her files within that room. Then when the teacher or professor came in with the test, she pulled the information right off of those files. That's the beauty of this system. But you know what? She graduated cum laude. You know what? The smartest of all of our, in our family. But you know what? She used her techniques because she had the advantage of a mom, a dad, an older sister. So she learned all of those ways and through role models throughout life, and she took advantage of it. So I'm excited about that. But you know what? Your child, your student today can do the same thing. They just have to have the proper tools. You need to give them those tools. That's what this will do for you. Give them the tools to make them more adaptable to their location, more adaptable to their schools, make them achieve higher and better grades. Be more and have more, just by doing more. Thank you. I hope to see you again in another one of our programs and one of our series. Again, Harold Mangum, Memory Technology Institute. Hope you have a good day.